Hey, this is Allie Edwards and welcome to day 2 of my December daily video series for 2018. Right now you're just looking at day 1, which was just a quick overview of our ages, how old we are right now with a group photo of everyone. And so now what I'm working with today is this tag. I had removed another tag that was in there. I have this page for day 3. And I already have the 3 on there, so I'm thinking of keeping that for day 3. This one had the 4 with the weekend stories, and that was a mistake. I was thinking that the 4th was the weekend, but it's actually not, or it's towards the end. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this to right here. Obviously the 4 and the 5 are gonna get moved around. No big deal. Just pull that out of there. And so what I'm thinking about doing is I really want to just document how right now for us is kind of the calm, a little bit of calm before the storm, because there haven't been any kids here for the last couple of days. So, you know, no kids going into December and just doing work and kind of calm things. So I was gonna just write a little bit about what's happening here this weekend. I'm thinking that I may cut this one in half and just have it be a half page, depending on how many photos I actually want to include. And then the 4 obviously is gonna get used for something else. So I'm gonna put this back over here. Oh, you can see I already have a half page. I could pull that one out and use that instead. Ready and waiting here. I also just considered just doing something like, you know, a quiet beginning to December, or some little thing that on here that could just be day 2. And actually, I mean, I could even do something like this where I take this and I put this on top here that just says something about it being quiet. So that's part of the thing I think to remember, is that it doesn't all have to be in page protectors. It doesn't all have to be long either. You know, a quiet start to December can just be what it is, and not all stories need to have a big, long thing there. I think for me, it's just kind of figure out what's gonna, day 3, you know, do I want to have that be, this is what I do, right? I just kind of identify what's the story that I want to tell. Well, the story I want to tell is kind of the quiet beginning to December. So I think I'm actually going to just do something like that. Let me play around a little bit with this idea and see what comes of it. All right, so after a little bit of looking around and kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what I decided to do was print a photo that I've taken in the last couple of days, which is just one of the cats on an ottoman with the tree in the background. And I am going to pair it with this card, but what I want to do is make like a flip up, like how it will sit here on the outside of the card, and then you will open it, and then on the inside I'm going to put this pattern paper and then just the 2 for day 2, and then this will get adhered onto the back. I'm thinking about that the binding will be washi tape. I'll show you this whole process. I printed out both a black and white and a color. It's pretty warm, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the black and white picture of the cat on there, and I will just show you basically how I'm gonna build that. Some of you might be wondering why I printed out a 3x4 just on one 4x6, and that's just partly because I am lazy and I didn't put both of them on one piece together. So first thing would just be to cut this one to 3x4 so that it's the same size as the card. And then I'm also going to cut this piece, which is just a leftover piece of some of the patterns that I've used in a different place here already in the album. So there's the inside of my card. And it could easily be, this could be on the outside, and this could be on the inside when you open it up too. You know, it just kind of depends on where do you want your picture to be, where do you want a number to be. You know, that could easily go in here like that. So now I'm thinking, do I want it to be the number 2? Maybe I do. And then that opens up and then you see the picture there. I think that I will, let's try that. Let's play with that. Okay, so we have the background here. These two need to be adhered together. Okay, so now we have the inside of what will be our little book here, and then the two can go on the outside. Super simple. And I'll probably trim that part in just a second here where I can see that it's not a perfect 3x4. Okay, so for the binding, I was thinking about using the star or the Mary tape that we had. Let's just see. It might be too much star. The other thing you can do is just pull washi tape from, let's see what this looks like, from your stash too. So I think I'm gonna do it this way. And I think, let's trim off that bottom part. And it doesn't have to be exact either. Okay, so I'm gonna just lay these down here together because I know that I want, whoops, to fold over. Sometimes it's hard when you got the camera on both sides. Let's see. So this is gonna create the binding, right, for this to fold up. So you can also do it on the inside too. Oops, we're gonna cut this off here. A lot of times when I do make a little booklet like this, I will cut off, or I will have it, have something on the inside also. But I think this one I just want to be those two. We can play around and see. Maybe if I did do the stars on the inside, that would make sense. Let's see. But I feel like it's a little bit thick. So I could trim this. Maybe so that it's just 2 rows of stars so that I still have some kind of tape down the middle. This is going to be not a good cutting job. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is just create some little bit of that between the two. Okay, I think that's okay. So one of the things that, you know, I've done in the past, I've done a variety of different things in this project, from having a lot of really dimensional kinds of things to having more that are inside page protectors. And I like having the variety. One thing that I'm totally missing right now as I am doing this is I'm wishing that I had one of those old, like, Making Memories little metal, the little metal, I don't even remember, some of you guys might remember what they were called, where it was like it could hold this in place and then you would flip it back over. I might see if I have any of those back in my stash. My idea still is to put the number 2 on the front, but I wonder if there's a way to do it where the 2 becomes part of the turning mechanism, or I can just put the 2 on here, which is probably what I will end up doing. And I'm thinking that I want it right on the edge, but I don't know that for sure yet. Like right here gets a little bit off center, and I am thinking about putting some sort of a ribbon through there that's just through the one side, because I don't want a ribbon on this side. I didn't want a hole there. So let's see, and then I'm just gonna write on the inside here. So let me see if I can find any of those other old metal pieces or something that would essentially that would keep this closed until you wanted to open it. Okay, so I went through, I was trying to find some, these were like metal pieces. This is a giant one, but they used to have these small little ones. This one I feel like is too big for what I want to do on here. And I found some other things that where you could like clip it together, but it's still not, like that's not gonna work exactly what I want either. So I think I'm just gonna not worry about that part. What I am looking at then is, maybe something like this or this other chipboard piece with the number 2. This one, these two are from the kit. This was from the chipboard add-on. So I'm looking at that 2 or the black 2. I don't think it matters, you know, it's really kind of up to you, but I like the idea that maybe if this hangs over just a little bit, it will be just a little bit, it'll hold it down a little bit more maybe. I mean, it's not going to matter within the album itself, but I kind of just liked that idea that it would come over there. I wonder if that part. Anyway, so those two, I mean, either one of these I think would be just fine in terms of adding some other little thing onto the front. Maybe I'll go with the white one just for a little more variety, and then I'm gonna put my journaling here in the inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this piece on here. And I'm kind of just trying to go in the middle of the fa la las is where I was, so down a little bit farther. I did pull out just a little bit of green ribbon from my stash that I am going to put through just this one hole from this tag. And then just push it down again. And then I usually like, actually I'm gonna staple those. I usually like to staple the ribbon on there too. I mean, you can tie it in a knot, but I had stapled all the other ones, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that here, whoops. And that got a little dirty over there, but that's okay. And then I'm just gonna trim those down. Part of the reason why, so it's got red on this side, which is, and that will look fine, you know, in the album itself. But I wanted to have green because there was green on this one here. So mainly just figuring out, am I gonna go with that one, which I think is what I'm gonna do. Let's see. So the difference though, if I go with this one, then I'm gonna have some stickiness on this side. I wonder, what do I have that I could put in there? I think that this might be, that feels too big, I think, for that. Let's see, what else do I have? Just looking for another circle piece that could potentially go behind there. These ones I think are, that one might work, or I just bag it and I just put it not worry about it. And maybe just pull up a partial amount. Like leave some, what I'm thinking is leave some of this on there. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I got an idea too. Okay, so another thing that I could do is either from the word phrase stickers or the perforated strips, I could, let's see, what does this look like? Might need to be a thicker one. Actually, if it comes over there. Trying to decide if this love is big enough or tall enough. The word phrase stickers, I'll check those in just a second too. So the idea here is, could I add this on to the side, which I totally could. So let's just do that. And that will then dictate how far over this thing will come over the side. So I'm just putting it right on the edge there, and then I'm going to take my scissors and trim around. So that when this goes on here, it will be dictated by where that peaks up on the other side. Ta-da! Love it. Just a cute little detail, right, of some other little something there. And then I'm just going to use the cork too, and I am just putting rolling adhesive on the back of this. Oops, and that one broke, so we'll just put it together when I put it down on here. There we go. Okay, that'll be good enough when it's in the album, and over the time it will just flatten out anyway. Okay, so there's the two. Clean up again. And then all that's left is just to write the journaling here on the inside. And I'm actually gonna just go sit at my desk and add that in. Okay, so I went ahead and just wrote in my journaling, and I basically just said, a wonderfully quiet start to the month here at home. Kids have been with their other parents after a long vacation. Aaron and I have been working, and we started rewatching Game of Thrones at night from the beginning, and it's just a wonderfully cozy start to our December season. So that is my story for day 2. Again, not making it super complicated, not having to look for some amazing story, just kind of easing into December, easing into the project. That is how I like to begin tackling this one. So that's a look at day 2, and I'll be back tomorrow with day 3.